Hello, my name is Josh Curtis and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to go over a locals report, what I played, how it went, and what I can improve going forward. Hopefully this will become like a mainstay on my channel that would be probably uploaded every Friday, hopefully. Also, we're going to talk about the upcoming regional that's happening this weekend, which is tomorrow by this upload. It could be a little bit of a ramble for these Friday videos like this, just because they're being written the day of, and it's kind of trying to recollect what happened last night. So yeah, if you can bear with me, let's go. This week, the deck that I decided to play was Magnet Fiendsmith, as the deck that you see right in front of you. I'm also going to bring this to the upcoming regional. And I want to say I did pretty good with this deck. Going 3-1, with the only loss being a 3-game slugfest, where the winner of that game was, the winner of that round was the one that eventually won the locals. So let's get into the round by round. Round 1 was against the Fiendsmith Yummy. Game 1, they went first, and I just didn't have a good starter, but it was enough to take it to turn 5 in a back and forth. Just couldn't draw anything that would change the tide of it. Just kind of spinning the wheels, hoping to find something. Game 2, I went full combo, ended on Caesar, IP, Delusion, the Fusion Conduction Warrior guy. He makes everything Earths, so they just didn't have anything to combat that, plus Caesar. The IP and Delusion were just extra stuff on top of that. I also had Impermanent Bonding set at the same time, so even if they were to out the Conduction Warrior, I was able to make another one. Then game 3, we both opened up a 4-hand trap, 1 starter kind of hands. So neither of us could really put up a board in that game state. After a while, it was grinding out, and I was able to put them down to 100 life points. And had to pass with no interactions. Just a big guy hoping that it was enough. They drew Cupsy and went full combo and won the game. So overall, it was a great back and forth, if you have to ask me. And if every game was like that, I would take it. I have every loss, especially. Like I said, that was my only loss of the day, and it was to one of the best decks in the room. And they went on and won the locals. Round 2, I don't really have much to say about it. I went up against Pure Galaxy Eyes, and it was over within about 4 minutes, but that is a little hyperbole because the magnet combo does take long, so it was a little bit longer than 4 minutes. But game 1, they won the die roll, and they just set one past. I didn't know what they were playing at this time, and I just went full combo and killed them. Game 2, they revealed their hand were playing Galaxy Eyes, and they made Galaxy Eyes, the OG Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon. Then they played the Xyz Galaxy Eyes. I mean, not the Xyz Galaxy Eyes. The Xyz Galaxy Photon Dragon, which increases all their galaxy by 500. And they had, like, the Galaxy Trap set, I believe, and not anything else. I had full combo again, and just wiped them off the face of the earth. So, I can't really talk about that matchup, because there wasn't anything there. You know, it was just, he's playing Galaxy Eyes, and that is not a great strategy. Round 3, however, was an interesting round. We went to 3 games. which if I go to 3 games every time, I am perfectly happy. And I was up against a Memento Typhoon deck. Game 1, I won the die roll and was able to put up Caesar and Conduction Warrior. I didn't know what he was on. So I'm always like, hey, Conduction Warrior, changing all your stuff to Earth. Just in case you're playing the attribute type deck, I can hose it. And he just activated some Radiant Typhoons, like primarily Visions and Manifestation. I ashed the Manifestation. Excuse me. And kind of nothing else he scooped. Game 2, I wasn't sure. What else was he on? Was he just on MST? So I sided in Ghost Ogres, I sided in Ghost Spells, the Drolls. I sided out a lot of going first cards, a lot of weird stuff. I generally side, like I said, I'll go over. I haven't said that yet, but I am going to go over this deck list next week. But just I didn't know what he was on yet, other than Radiant Typhoon, so I kind of made my assumption for that. And then he activated some Memento cards, and I'm like, oh, okay. The game was back and forth for a while, but he ended up getting more names in rotation than I did. So in the grind game, he was able to outgrind me. But game 3 is the interesting game. I opened up nothing. I opened up 4 hand traps and a 1-card starter? Kind of. The hand traps I opened were 2 Ghost Spells, an Imperm, and an Ash Blossom. My 1-card starter was Researcher. I went first, normal summon Researcher, tried to gamble, and I hit Omega Plus, the Magnet Warrior that does nothing. So I just decided, hey, my body is a machine that turns engine into SP pass. So I made SP, set the Imperm, passed. His hand was not anything better. Dying to an Ash. I drew, didn't draw anything. So SP attack. Imperm the next turn. Couldn't fight through it. Next, Ghost Bell on his turn. He says, okay. Passes back. He proceeds to activate something. I can't remember what it was. One of the Memento guys that Reborns. I had the second Ghost Bell in my hand. And really couldn't do anything about that. And then it wasn't until the next turn after that, because the SP control was keeping him in check of being able to fuse as well. The next turn after that, I was able to open up some combo and go in to put it in an unwinnable game state for him. But it was very, 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 awkward. But just because it was like we didn't draw anything, we're just kind of sitting there staring at each other. But I ended up taking it in the long run. And then round 4, the last and final round, happened. It was against a good friend of mine, and he was playing Radiant Typhoon. Pure Radiant Typhoon. Game 1, I went full combo, and he was able to out Nat Beast and Caesar and able to win the game. Game 2, however, I was able to set up the magnet side of the board, and it was strong enough to withstand the storming typhoons. Then game 3 happened, and it was very similar to my last round's game 3. To the point where my friend said, if I open a starter, I would win the game. He set 1 past. My hand was, I believe it was like Telusion, another thing that didn't do anything, and another card that didn't do anything. And I opened up Omega Plus again, the magnet that does nothing, and Researcher. So I went normal summoned Omega Plus. He was going to scoop, and then he looked at it and was like, what the hell? Special summoned my Researcher because the reason why you do that is just because you want to get at least SP on board. And I said, well, I have to gamble. I went and I hit like Purge, I hit like 2 Engravers, I hit like an Imperm or something for the 4 cards, and the last card was literally the best card I could have hit, which was Beta the Electromagnet Warrior. Get out of here. It was Beta the Electromagnetic Warrior. And he then scooped as soon as he saw Beta. Overall, that was funny. It was just a fun game. Round 3 was, I think, my best round, my favorite rounds of the day, just because it was back and forth, there was weird interactions. In game 2, I even Ghost Ogre'd him because I thought he was just on MST, and that's why Ghost Ogre is really in my sideboard, is against that matchup. But yeah, overall, like I said at the beginning, I finished 3-1, and I placed tied for second at the locals. There's nothing that I can glean from this locals that I can improve upon. I feel like I played to the best of my abilities, and the games that I lost were just out of my control, that with the hands that I was dealt, I couldn't beat over it. So now I'm going to pivot a little bit to the upcoming regional. This section is going to be a little bit short because there's not really much to talk about. I'm only projecting a little bit. I am expecting to see more rogue strategies because the past few Midwestern regionals have been largely dominated by them. And I feel like magnets are in a good place for that. Rogue strategies more use spells that can supplement them, and Nat Beast does do a lot of the heavy lifting. And if they are playing a deck that is an impulse deck, something like the Dragoon Turbo deck, Conduction Warrior, Plasma Magnum, the guy that makes everything Earths, kind of does hose all those, along with yummy variants. And I'm not really the biggest fan of combo decks, because I prefer to play control decks. However, the magnets are fun. They predicate fun and interesting ways to get around things. And if anybody's looking for a cheap deck that can compete, magnets may be a deck I recommend, because even this Fiendsmith Magnets version, this entire version that is on screen, is around like $55 if you bought everything individually. But yeah, that's all for today's video. Next week, I'm going to talk about the regional that just happened, that would have just happened, I should say, and a full breakdown on this deck, going card by card and telling you why I decided to put in some cards and why not others. And if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and a comment down below. If you want to see more content like this, or have any suggestions for future content, leave them down below as well. And as always, peace and chicken grease.